Manhunt. Manhunt, a stealth-based game released by Rockstar North in 2003, tells the story of James Earl Cash, a death row inmate who believes he's about to be executed by lethal injection. However, instead of dying, Cash is only sedated and wakes up to find himself in a mysterious situation. He's contacted by a figure called the Director, who explains that Cash was never going to be executed, but was in fact rescued. The Director, a former film producer from Los Santos, the same city from GTA, runs a twisted film production company specializing in snuff films. He tells Cash that the only way he will earn his freedom is by killing the Hunters, a group of gang members sent to track and kill him across various locations in Custer City, where cameras have been set up to record the action for the Director's film. The gameplay involves using brutal methods to defeat enemies, including suffocating them with plastic bags, using firearms, and other violent tactics. Due to its disturbing nature, the game was labeled by the Chicago Tribune as the most violent video game ever created. This focus on extreme violence attracted the attention of U.S. Representative Joe Baca, who proposed a law to fine retailers who sold adult-rated games to minors under the age of 17. This controversy drew widespread media attention, and Manhunt was banned in countries like New Zealand and Australia, and faced heavy criticism in the United States. Postal, released in 1997 by Running with Scissors, follows a character known as Postal Dude who suffers from severe mental health issues. He believes that the U.S. Air Force has unleashed a deadly virus called the hate plague. This belief drives him on a violent spree to eliminate anyone he perceives as being infected by the virus, all while hearing disturbing voices in his head. The game consists of multiple levels in different settings, and the objective is to kill enough people to progress to the next stage. In one particular level, set in a school, the original ending depicted children laughing at the protagonist's failed attempts to harm them with bullets, leading to his eventual arrest and commitment to a mental hospital. Postal was banned in multiple countries due to its extreme content, which sparked widespread debates about video game violence. Kusters Revenge. Kusters Revenge, developed by Mystique in 1982, is a highly controversial adult game centered around Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer, a historical figure famous for his battles against Native American tribes. The plot of the game involves Custer crossing a field to reach a Native American woman tied to a pole while dodging falling arrows. Once Custer reaches her, the player must repeatedly press a button to perform a highly inappropriate action with her. The game was packaged in a sealed box that explicitly stated it was not for sale to minors, and it sold for the equivalent of $16 in 2023. The game's promotional materials even suggested that if children asked about it, parents should tell them that Custer and the woman were simply dancing. Although the game was never officially banned in the U.S., many retailers refused to sell it, and its sales were severely limited. Carmageddon. In Carmageddon, a 1997 vehicular combat game, the player races against computer-controlled opponents in various settings. However, there's a dark twist. The player has a limited amount of time to finish the race, and can extend that time by running over pedestrians, causing destruction, or damaging other vehicles. The goal of the game can be achieved by either finishing the race first, destroying all the cars, or eliminating every pedestrian in the level. Carmageddon caused a massive outcry due to its violent and disturbing nature, leading to bans in countries such as Germany, Brazil, and the UK. In some versions, the developers censored the game by replacing pedestrians with robots and turning the blood into a black, oil-like substance. KZ Manager. KZ Manager is a controversial browser-based management simulation game. Players are tasked with overseeing operations at an old German prison camp. The goal is to manage resources like prisoners, supplies, and public opinion while increasing the camp's productivity. In 1990, the game was seized by German authorities for violating laws related to incitement of hatred, Section 130 of the German Criminal Code. As a result, the game was banned in Germany and could no longer be legally distributed. EC, a 2002 first-person shooter, was produced by a group with deeply troubling ideologies, particularly centered on racial purity. The game involves players navigating 2 levels where they must eliminate groups of people depicted in a highly stereotypical and offensive manner. Released on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the game sold for $14.88, with those numbers referencing the hateful slogans associated with extremist groups. Although it faced severe restrictions due to its offensive content, it was never fully banned in the US and was largely excluded from mainstream platforms. The Guy Game. Released in 2004, The Guy Game is an adult trivia game set during spring break, featuring bikini-clad women. Players answer trivia questions to increase their flashometer, which unlocks increasingly suggestive and explicit content. The more points you accumulate, the more revealing the content becomes. While the game's content is tasteless and inappropriate, what truly made it illegal in certain situations was its involvement with underage actresses. At least one of the women featured in the game was under the age of 18, making the game technically illegal to own or distribute in some cases. Grape L. Grape L tells the story of Messiah Camera, who stalks and harms a family. Camera is initially arrested for crimes against a woman, but after being released from prison, he seeks revenge on the girl and her family, including her younger sister and mother. The game primarily follows a 2D visual novel format, but also features 3D segments where the player uses the mouse to interact with characters, triggering responses. The objective of the game is to complete Camera's mission by subjecting the characters to horrific and disturbing acts. There are 2 endings, one where Camera fathers a child with one of the women, but is killed in a subway, and another where one of the girls seeking revenge kills Camera. Initially, Grape L was not widely condemned in Japan, but after a British politician brought the issue to Parliament in 2009, the game's sale and production were restricted by the Japanese Ethics Organization for Computer Software. 177. Named after a Japanese legal reference, this game involves jumping through obstacles and navigating through levels while chasing a girl. If the protagonist reaches her after performing a violent act, the game shows them married. If he fails, she calls the police. Manhunt II. The sequel to Manhunt, Manhunt II was released in 2007 and follows Daniel Lamb, a man suffering from amnesia, as he seeks to uncover his true identity. He is guided by Leo Casper, a sociopath assassin. The game features even more brutal and disturbing scenes than its predecessor, leading to its being refused classification in the UK and given an adults-only rating in the United States. After the backlash, the developers censored the game, blurring violent executions and removing a scoring system that rewarded players for brutal kills. The revised version received a mature rating, allowing it to be sold on more platforms.